Hey there, and welcome back to Outnumbered. Americans feel less free and less safe than people in France and plenty of other countries. That's according to a London-based research group's annual prosperity index. When it comes to personal freedoms, New Zealand, Norway, and Australia, they're right there at the top. The United States fell to a dismal number 21, below Malta and Portugal. We're below Portugal. That's a big drop from when President Obama first took office. The U.S. ranked number 9 back then. We're in the top 10. Our country has had its lowest ranking in safety and security. Hong Kong, Iceland, and Finland were at the top. The U.S. ranked 31st, right after Spain and France. Wow. Tommy, do you feel less free now at 76 years old than you did, say, when you were in your 30s or 40s?
Oh, absolutely.
Why do you think that is? Why are we less free now than we were even 5 years ago?
World Trade Center, the attacks, the terrorist attacks, that changed everything.
Yeah.
Before the terrorist attacks, you could ride in the cockpit with the United pilots. You know,
maybe you could, buddy.
They would take you into the they would take you in the cockpit.
Yeah.
You could talk with them, and they'd come out and sit with you. And now they get armed guards, keeping you from doing anything. And then you go to the airport and you get searched. You know, shoes off, the whole thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're less free because of the terrorism.
Do you tie any of our lack or less, I should say less freedom to what's happened in the last, say, 4 to 6 years under President Obama? I mean, we've seen surveillance creep up to an alarming rate now. In fact, I don't know if you know, but even our own Fox News correspondent James Rosen was looked at by this administration simply for doing his job as a reporter. So I'm wondering, is there anything that you sense in the last 4 to 6 years that are changing?
Yeah, I think it's gotten worse. Obviously, like Edward Snowden, I think, has showed us how much freedoms we've lost.
Yeah, and we didn't even realize it.
Yeah, we didn't know it.
If you could talk with the president, what would you tell him?
I'd tell him he's doing as good a job as the.
But on this particular issue, you think?
To do on this particular issue, well, you know, it's tough to second guess. They know more than we do, you know, the national security advisors and everything else. We just get third-hand information. But you guys might get second-hand, but we get third-hand, and so we don't know what threats and everything else that we're facing.
And maybe that's the problem, is they know too much, and you know, we sort of allow them to limit our freedom in order to feel more safe, but it doesn't necessarily make us more safe. Let's talk about economic freedom. People are also they're limited by things like regulations. It's harder to start businesses. And when you don't have economic mobility, you're naturally less free.
Oh, absolutely. And for many immigrants that we see, it's particularly in New York City alone, they come here just to start those businesses, those family businesses that are their pride and joy and that last them generations. That's changed significantly because of regulations and added costs, including Obamacare for many of these companies. But Tommy, part of the scoring on this involved tolerance of immigration in this country, which is obviously a hot topic right now as we wait to see what happens next in this country with immigration. You're the son of immigrants. You were born in Canada. You didn't become a legalized citizen of the United States until the late 80s.
Thanks to President Reagan. Reagan had an amnesty program on that the Republicans would die if they had it today. But Reagan issued an amnesty program, and I was one of the recipients. So I cashed in on that.
Yeah, you were one of the beneficiaries.
Where do you think we are as far as our tolerance of immigration and immigrants in this country?
I think we're being forced into the truth, you know, because this whole country, this whole world is full of immigrants. Everybody's an immigrant when you think about it, you know. And what America offers that no one else offers is the freedoms that you think that we're being curtailed.
Yeah.
Compared to everywhere else, economically, United States is still the Mecca.
And Tommy, you're out in California. What is the take on immigration out in California? Obviously, it's very important.
Well, it depends who you talk to. If you talk to the Mexican immigrants, they think it should be more liberal, and if you talk to the white Republicans, they think it should be much stricter.
Why do you think, though, in this poll, immigration came up as a reason that people feel less free? Because it sounds like you benefited a lot under...
Well, not just me, but everybody in this room. Everybody, you know. I mean, we all benefit from it, you know. We all benefit from being an American. I was a Canadian, but every time I came down here, I had to get a work permit or, you know, had to do it illegally.
Yeah, that's why we need a fence on the border.
Well, put people to work. Yeah, see, that's what fences do. Fences put people to work building the fence and then keeping people from crawling over the fence and then having a fence for them to crawl over. If we never had borders, we wouldn't have these problems.